Hello, welcome. My name is Miriam. I'm a family therapist. This is the second of two videos that I'm making about children and sleep. On my first video, I gave some general understandings about sleep and about family dynamics that happen when children don't sleep very well. And I also talked about ways to help children fall asleep more easily. If you haven't watched it, please watch it here before you watch this one. I think it's going to help. In this video, I talk about children who get up in the middle of the night for various reasons, bad dreams, just generally worried or anxious, or easily waken up by noise, say of a sibling crying, or children need to go to the toilet. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about children who wake up very early in the morning before you're ready for them, how to help them stay in bed and let you sleep. The video is focused on children from 3 years old upwards, before secondary school. The skills may be useful for younger children or for older children, but this is going to be my focus. I'm going to start talking about children who have bad dreams or nightmares. They wake up in the middle of the night, say, because in their dream they were running away from a lion that was trying to eat them up, and they obviously experience it as real and they become really distressed. They wake up, you are there to comfort them, but the next night this dream or a similar dream returns. In order to know how to help, we need to understand a little bit about the role of dreams. And dreams have many roles and many functions. One of them is to quieten upsets or worries that children had during the day because of things that they were exposed to, say in films or in a computer game, or just a thought that they've had in their head or something that's happened to them. So ideally, what will happen in the dream is that this scenario would be replayed in some way that's symbolic and imaginative, not with necessarily the real people or the real events that happen, but in a more imaginative and symbolic way. And the scenario will be brought to a good end, and that would be that. The child will be calmer after that. But what actually happens when a child wakes up in the middle of the dream is that the dream hasn't been able to finish its function and the child is still upset. If you want to know a little bit more about it, there's a lovely video by my colleague Justin Havens, and I'm going to link to it. It explains this process in a way that you can actually show your child, but it's addressed at adults. So I'm going to explain how this technique that's called the dream completion technique could be applied with children. And the idea is that you want to finish the story of the dream in an imaginative way that your child's going to make up. You want to rehearse it on the next day when they're awake, and then you want to imagine it again and again and again before they go to sleep, and that will train their brain into actually dreaming it at night. And usually what happens when you do this is that they wake up in the morning and they don't remember even having dreamt anything, but the bad dreams are out of the way. So you want to sit down with your child and make up an ending to the dream. So something is chasing after them. What can they do? You want to make up an ending where they are powerful and they create their own solutions. So in a dream they can fly, say. So somebody's chasing after them, they fly, they get this magic wand and they zap these people and everything's great again. So something like that. You can get them to draw it, you can get them to make it out of clay, out of Lego bricks, whatever, and then imagine it vividly before they go to sleep several times, and then send them to sleep. Many times all that happens is that they go to sleep. We don't even know whether they've had this dream or not, because they wake up in the morning and there's no trace of it. So this is a technique that really works. The thing to remember is that if there's violent content in your children's dream, it's not because they're violent. They are not violent. They just have experienced something possibly. So if you've got concern that they've been exposed to something they shouldn't have, or somebody's done something to them that they shouldn't have, obviously you want to check this. But as a technique, you don't want to interpret this too much or make it mean too much. Just use the technique and the dreams are probably going to go. Right, if you like this content, please share it. Please like, subscribe. and that will help me create more and more videos for you. Right, so some children wake up in the middle of the night and they don't recall any particular dream, but they may be worried about something or scared about something. And what you want to do is comfort them, obviously, but the next day talk about what it is that scares them. Get them again to draw it, to create it, to act it, to make it. The more they do that and the more they engage with whatever scares them through the day, the less likely they are to be bothered by it at night. And the one thing that lots of children are exposed to is media, screens, news that are age inappropriate, that they don't know how to make sense of, violent computer games. If that is a worry, you want to reduce it and you want to mediate it for them. You want to explain to them what they're seeing, why, and what's going on there, and help them relax. Now, all the techniques that I've offered in the first video about falling to sleep more easily are relevant here as well. So things like having dream catchers and worry dolls and objects of yours to remind them of you, they're all really good. And you want to talk to them and explain to them how important sleep is for you and how they can help you sleep better so that you're going to have more energy and you're going to be in a better mood the next day, and that you can play with them and be for them there fully. So you want to be as a part of a team. They want to be a part of your team, your family team that helps everyone sleep as best as they can. Noise coming from crying siblings. That is another thing that bothers lots of children, and for many parents the instinctive response is, if there's one child that cries, is to take that child out of the room into the parents' bedroom or into a separate room so that they don't disturb their siblings, which is understandable. But wouldn't it be great if you also tried to train the siblings to sleep through this rather than separate between them? Because a lot of the times being together as a sibling group really helps long term. And so you want to tell the sibling before they go to sleep that you're going to take care of everything else and that's not for them to worry about. And again, get them to imagine falling asleep, being woken up by this noise of the crying, and telling themselves, it's not my responsibility, there's nothing to worry here, I can go to sleep, it's okay. Get them to imagine it again and again and again, and send them to sleep like that. See if it works. For lots of families, it does. And that connects to the next group of children, the ones who call you in the middle of the night to take them to the toilet. Now, this is not a video about night toilet training. That requires a whole video by itself, but I'm going to just talk here about children who have already been toilet trained, but they will call you from time to time to take them to the loo, and then you obviously want them to do it by themselves. So same kind of technique, same kind of trick. Get them to imagine themselves doing it, and also get them to practice it physically. Being in bed, you can have it as a pretend game. Being in bed, feeling these feelings that they need, these sensations that they need to go to the toilet, waking up, thinking to themselves, I mustn't wake up my parents, they need to sleep, and taking themselves to the toilet and doing what they're doing and going back and sleeping really well and soundly. So you want to practice this with them before they go to sleep several times. And also you want to make sure that the way to the toilet is clear, that if they need a night light to help them see where they're going, they can have it. And the chances are that this is going to work. Now, there are some parents who wake their children up when they themselves go to sleep. So say the child goes to sleep at 8 and you go to sleep at 11, then just at 11 they will wake up the children and take them to the toilet. And that can help them sleep through the night. Now, in the previous video, I talked about us needing to parent our children within our own limitations and know our own limitations. If you're one of the people who really can't be woken up at night and then go to sleep and have a good day after that, then you can do that. But otherwise, it's better to not go for that method and stay with it and use the other methods, because when you wake up your children deliberately, you take away their opportunity to actually learn to be sensitive to their body sensations that make them want to go to the loo. So if you have to do it, do it. But as soon as you can, it's best to let your children deal with it themselves. Now, to incentivize your children, you can make it as your little rule that if they sleeping through the night, you're going to play something with them the next day, and you're going to enjoy it together because you're going to have a lot of energy for it. So good night's sleep. In the morning, pillow fight, another game, something that they love doing with you, nothing material. It needs to make sense. If I sleep well, I've got energy, I can play, I've got a good mood. If I don't sleep well, it's going to be difficult for me to do it. Now that relates to the second group of children. This group of children sleep okay at night maybe, but they wake you up really, really early and you want them to stay in bed. So that idea of incentivizing them with some kind of attention reward works really well with them. Again, you explain, let me sleep in the morning, and I will, when I get up, I will be there for you. The other thing that you want to look at is daylight, especially in the summer. If there's light outside, it's very, very difficult for children to stay in bed. They're biologically programmed to get up and start the day. So blackout curtains, make sure that the room is dark, that's really important. There are sleep training clocks that you can buy. They're designed for children. Some of them have got a traffic light. Some of them have got illustrations of the moon and the stars and the sunshine. And they tell your child when it's the time that it is okay to wake you up. Lots of families found them useful. They are useful. Use them. They also teach your children about the time, because lots of children really do not have an idea when they wake up, whether it's night, day, whatever it is, and these clocks really help. You can also ask them what can help them stay in the room a little bit more. They may be hungry. You may leave a snack for them somewhere that they can go and help themselves. Maybe you'll offer some games that they can play, or whatever it is that will help. So you want to incentivize them by promising them attention later, and you want to ask them what they could do and how they can help you stay asleep so that you can help them later. Now, obviously, this is not going to work within one day. These are all habits that are difficult. Children are little, they need us, they need our attention. It's not a magic wand, but it does work over time. So I hope you found something useful here. If you learned something new, do give me a like, subscribe, share, and come back here. Enjoy your children. Thank you very much.